Self-hypnotism, the technique and its use in daily living, by L.M.Lecron, clinical psychologist and author of Techniques of Hypnotherapy, a unique method of self-analysis that helps you get to the root of your problems and correct them with the simple, safe, scientific techniques of self-hypnotism. Chapter 4. How to use partial age regression. In your self-help program, you will sometimes need to use age regression. There should be no attempt to induce deep hypnosis in this respect, for you would then have no insight into the effect of past experiences. You can regress if only in a very light state of hypnosis. Your first effort should be to go back in time to some very recent and unimportant experience. This is more than simple memory recall. You should aim to relive an experience with all 5 senses functioning. While in hypnosis, select as your goal the last meal you ate when someone was with you. Suppose it was breakfast with your wife present. As an example, give yourself the suggestion: I am now going back in time to my breakfast this morning, and I will relive the experience. I am drifting back in time to my breakfast this morning. Repeat this suggestion. Try now to visualize the situation. At first, the scene may be a bit hazy. Then it will tend to clear and become more vivid. Try to see the table in front of you and look at your wife. See what she's wearing. Note the color and design of her clothes. Try to bring out other details as the scene becomes more vivid. Get a feeling of position. Feel the chair or seat under you. Now go to the moment when you drank some coffee. Look at the cup. See its color. Pick it up and feel it in your fingers. As you lift it to your mouth, smell the pleasing odor. Sip and taste the coffee. After you have put the cup down, look at whatever food is before you and see it clearly as to color and shape. Then go to the moment when your wife spoke to you about something. Try to hear anything she may have said. You can actually hear her voice. Try particularly to develop the hearing sense, listening to whatever may have actually been said. All of these things tend to turn mere memory into actually reliving of the incident. With a little practice, you should readily learn to regress in this way to a recent experience. You will find yourself bringing out little details that could not be recalled if you were to rely on memory alone. If you find yourself unable to regress in this way, have some else talk to you while you are in hypnosis. They can read over the suggestions above and then can tell you to do all of these things as they have been written here. During your next session, you can learn to return to some childhood experience, perhaps one which has been completely forgotten. Everyone has suffered some very minor tumble, cut, or bruise, or hurt in childhood. Your suggestion here should be that you are now going back in time to the age of 4 or 5, or perhaps 6, to some time when you experienced a very minor hurt, nothing major. When hurt, a child naturally will cry, and someone would probably comfort it. Perhaps the mother. She would probably say, "Don't cry, don't cry, it's all right," or something similar. Repeat these phrases aloud several times, putting the expression into the words which would be used in comforting a child. If there is a feeling of other words being more appropriate, use them instead. If so, your subconscious is prompting the correct words that were actually said. The association of the sound of these words and their meaning helps to bring the regression. Now look around in your mind's eye and form an impression of the scene. Are you indoors or outdoors? Try to bring it in clearer. Tell yourself it is now, just before you were slightly hard, and note what you are doing. When go to the moment of heart and continue through what follows, hearing whatever was said. You probably will actually feel whatever hurt you, though not to the same degree. When you have accomplished this, tell yourself you are now returning to the present time in order to end the regression. In brackets, this should of course also follow your first regression attempt. If you failed to remember this, no harm would be done, for you would soon reorient yourself to the present on awakening. Most people can learn to regress in this way with no difficulty. If you cannot bring out an episode of a minor heart, it may be that you unconsciously do not wish to remember any kind of unpleasant matter. You might then suggest return to some exceptionally pleasant or interesting experience at about the same age, one which may have been completely forgotten. Say to yourself, I am now about 5 years old. Something very pleasant happened today. Perhaps it is Christmas or my birthday, and I was given a nice present. Now I am back to it. You may then find yourself seeing a scene and reliving it. When it has fully developed, end it by the suggestion of returning to the present. If you are not successful in producing these regressions, try again at another time. If you can go a bit deeper without overdoing it, it would help. An important part of self-therapy consists of regressing to important past events which may be having a present effect. In regressing as described here, you are reliving the experience as the participant. Sometimes, if there is something unpleasant about the event, it is easier to see it as an observer rather than taking part in it. When you find you are not entering the regression, try suggesting that you are going to see the scene and whatever happened as an observer, and that you will see yourself in the scene. This may overcome resistance to going back to something unpleasant, since being an observer is easier than taking part in the experience. an induction talk to aid in learning self-hypnosis. If you have a tape recorder or a record player, the following induction talk can be recorded. This can be a great aid in learning self-hypnosis. Most larger record shops have facilities for cutting records, which is a simple, inexpensive matter. You could record your own voice or have someone else do this for you, either as a phonograph record or on tape. In recording, a monotone voice is best, and the words should be read quite slowly. The wording here includes induction and suggestions, setting up a formula for you to follow for self-induction. When you have listened to your recording, or as soon as you have awakened at the end, you should put yourself back in hypnosis by following the formula as given. Take any comfortable position in listening, either sitting in a comfortable chair or lying down. Let your arms rest on the arms of the chair or lie beside you. Close your eyes and take 2 or 3 deep breaths. The talk follows. Now that you are comfortable, you will listen closely to my voice and will follow all of the suggestions given. This will teach you how to enter hypnosis and how to produce it yourself. Your eyes are now closed. Take another deep breath. Hold it a few seconds and let it out. The more you can relax, the deeper you will be able to go into hypnosis. Let all your muscles go as loose, as limp as possible. To do this, start with your right leg. Tighten the muscles first, making the leg rigid. Then let it relax from your toes up to your hip. Then tighten the muscles of the left leg. Let that leg relax from the toes up to the hip. Let the stomach and abdominal relax. Then your chest and breathing muscles. The muscles of your back can loosen. Your shoulders and neck muscles relaxing. Often we have tension in this area. Let all of these muscles loosen. Now your arms from the shoulders right down to your fingertips. Even your facial muscles will relax. Relaxation is so pleasant and comfortable. Let go completely and enjoy the relaxation. All tension seems to drain away, and you soon find a listlessness creeping over you with a sense of comfort and well-being. As you relax more and more, you will slip deeper and deeper into hypnosis. Your arms and legs may develop a feeling of heaviness, or instead you may find your whole body feeling very light, as though you are floating on a soft cloud. Now imagine that you are standing at the top of an escalator, such as those in some stores. See the steps moving down in front of you, and see the railings. I'm going to count from 10 to 0. As I start to count, imagine you are stepping on the escalator, standing there with your hands on the railing, while the steps move down in front of you, taking you with them. If you prefer, you can imagine a staircase or an elevator instead. If you have any difficulty visualizing the escalator or staircase or elevator, just the count itself will take you deeper and deeper. Slowly, in brackets, 10. Now you step on and start going down. 9, 8, 7, 6. Going deeper and deeper with each count. 5, 4, 3. Still deeper. 2, 1. And 0. Now you step off at the bottom and will continue to go deeper still with each breath you take. Deeper and deeper with each breath. You are so relaxed and so comfortable. Let go still more. Notice your breathing. Probably it is now slower and you are breathing more from the bottom of your lungs, abdominal breathing. In a moment you will notice that your hand and arm are beginning to lose any feeling of heaviness and are becoming light. If you are right-handed, it will be your right arm. If left-handed, it will be the left. The arm is getting lighter and lighter. It will begin to lift. Perhaps just the fingers will move first, or the whole hand will start to float up. It will float up towards your face, as though your face was a magnet pulling it up, until the fingers touch your face someplace. Let's see where that will be. The arm begins to bend at the elbow. It is floating upward. If it has not started of its own accord, lift it voluntarily a few inches to give it a start. It will continue to go up of its own accord with no further effort. It floats on up toward your face, higher and higher. The higher your hand goes, the deeper you will go. The deeper you go, the higher the hand will go. Lifting, lifting, floating up, higher and higher, going higher and higher. Now, if it has touched your face, let your hand go down to any comfortable position. If it has not touched yet, it can continue to float up until it does touch. You can forget about the arm while I tell you how you can put yourself into hypnosis whenever you may wish to do so. You will use much the same method being used now. When you have made yourself comfortable, you will merely close your eyes and drift into hypnosis. But in your first 3 or 4 practice sessions, it would help you if you first lit a candle, and when you have made yourself comfortable, would look at the flickering flame for 2 or 3 minutes. Then close your eyes. Then you will think to yourself the phrase, "Now I am going into hypnosis." Then repeat to yourself the words, "Relax now," 3 times, saying them very slowly. As you do this, you will slip off into hypnosis. You say nothing aloud. You merely think these words. When you have done this, take another deep breath to help you relax more and go through the relaxation just as you have done before. Tell your muscles to relax as I have done. When you have finally relaxed your arms, imagine the escalator, elevator, or staircase. Now you should count backward from 10 to 0, including the 0. Count slowly. In your first 4 practice sessions, repeat the count 3 times, as though going down different levels. With practice, you need only count once. Whenever you are ready to awaken, all you need do is think to yourself, now I'm going to wake up. When count slowly to 3 and you will be wide awake. You will always awaken refreshed, relaxed and feeling fine. While you are in hypnosis, if something should happen, so you should awaken, you will do so instantly and spontaneously. Something such as the phone ringing or a real emergency like a fire. You will awaken instantly and be wide awake and fully alert. Actually, this would happen without such a suggestion being necessary, for your subconscious mind always protects you. Now I will count to 3 and you will be wide awake. If convenient, you should then go through this formula for self-hypnosis and put yourself back in. You will remember the formula and go through it exactly as given. Now awaken as I count 1. Coming awake now. 2. Almost awake. 3. Now you are wide awake. Wide awake. Summary. You have now been introduced to several techniques in self-hypnosis. Actually, all hypnosis is really self-hypnosis. The operator is only a guide, and you do the work by following his suggestions and accepting the ideas he gives you. You now know how you can test your results after you have practiced a bit, and you can learn from your own subconscious the depth you have reached. You know how you can regress to experiences which may be affecting you in some way. Through an understanding of this, you should cease to be affected. You will be able to use hypnosis not only in your program of self-betterment, but in other ways as well. In the next chapter, you will learn how to use suggestion most effectively in your program. Chapter 5. Now let's stop here and we'll continue the next time.